Wakanda Forever. I already did a non-spoiler review of it. I'm going to go into some spoilers a little bit on this one. I'm not going to go too long into it, but because we're almost out of time. But real quick, I'll just say that let me go one by one with these characters. M'Baku, M'Baku, man, that boy did his thing, man. He I mean, it was just like what Thor: Love and Thunder should have been. He was just as he was the right amount of funny and the right amount of serious. Like kind of like what they did with uh, Ragnarok. I mean, it was serious when it needed to be. It was heavy, man. That movie started off with right off the bat with an off-screen death of Chadwick's character, man, and I felt like it was exactly that funeral scene. I didn't feel like a funeral scene for T'Challa. That was a funeral for Chadwick, and I'm obviously that's what they were going for, but this off-screen out of nowhere surprise, Chadwick's been sick and nobody knew about it, and boom, that's how they did T'Challa. And I was like, man, I didn't. It was it was sad and everything, but it was starting downhill from there, man. And when they were struggling on trying to recreate the herb and replace the Black Panther, the Peter Wangu's character, she should have been the one. I mean, the Queen offered it to her in the first movie when they thought that Chadwick was gone or T'Challa was gone and Black Panther won. So why wouldn't it go to her? She is a warrior, and Shuri never wanted it. And the way they forced, and it's the only time I use that word, us to go like they forced Shuri's character to go through the same thing T'Challa went through. He had a struggling, like he had a real deep bond and a struggle with with the bond that he had with his father. And then boom, he lost his father to become the new Black Panther. And for Shuri, she lost her father too. And then at the beginning of the movie, she loses her brother. But then in the middle, you lose your mother. The death of Angela Bassett was so unnecessary, man. It was so unnecessary, and it made no sense to me. She already, it's like you had to give her not only a similar stakes that T'Challa went through with a son losing his father, but like she's a daughter that lost her father and brother and mother. Like back to back to back to back. It's like, oh, we're gonna make her a greater Black Panther because she lost everybody. Angela Bassett could have been the Black Panther, and I think that would have made more sense than making Shuri the Black Panther because obviously she had a better fighting skill than she did. Angela Bassett, if I didn't say it before, I think I said it on this show before that dude, her performance was confirmed that she should get an Oscar nod for that for what she did in this movie. She acted her butt off on this one, man. Angela Bassett deserves that nom. I'm not saying she deserves to win, but the nomination. Of course, Namor, God, crushed it. Best thing about this, that emotion that he gave, that he was almost reminded me like of Killmonger, man. The way he was just brutal by any means necessary. He really lifted him. This was the problem with Shuri. There's no offense on the young lady who plays Shuri, but everybody was acting their ass off, man. Everybody, Peter Nwangu, um, everybody. One of the best scenes that happened in this movie was between Angela Bassett and what's her name? The bald headed demon. What's her name? Right here. The bald headed demon. What's God damn forgot her name from Walking Dead. Because that moment when Angela Bassett lost Shuri for a little bit when Namor took Shuri, kidnapped her, and it was on her watch. And the Queen laid into her, man. You just lost my daughter. This is not the first time you felt. This is that Oscar-winning performance. I feel this is that she gave, that Angela Bassett gave. This is not the first time you failed me. When Killmonger came in and nearly killed my son and took the throne the way he did and wanted to do a genocide all over the world, you sided with Killmonger. And I saw that movie a billion times. I do not know why it took that moment to connect that anger. That made so much sense that Angela Bassett's character, that the Queen would have a lot of resentment towards her. She did what she felt like she was supposed to do for the king, for the throne, by taking Killmonger's side. Stand by, always the Norman Elijah stand by as the king, and he won the challenge. He was the king, but that betrayal to her family, man, she held on to that for some years, and she let it out in this movie. Hey Nixon, what's going on? The disrespect, we're live. Hey, look, I'm sorry, look, I didn't think I was gonna go live today, but a lot of stuff happened. The Angela Louise Dreyfus, Julia Louise Dreyfus, and our favorite colonizer. I did not like that relationship. Them being a boyfriend girlfriend thing, or a couple that smash made sense, but them being a married couple and stuff, I feel like all that was unnecessary. It just didn't fit in the movie at all. It just threw me off. This movie, and I said this before, I almost hated this movie while I was watching it. I was in the middle of hating it. And then in the end, because Kevin Feige, he softened up on his never recast stuff when we saw that there was a new T'Challa out there, T'Challa Jr. Man, I felt this weight lifted. He did it. He technically recast. He recast without recasting. It was brilliant. I thought it was a smooth move that I did not see coming. And I liked it. I like it. One of the things I like about little T'Challa is that we can continue. He can be T'Challa. He won't be the original T'Challa, yes, but he is a T'Challa, and we can now at this age, we could even probably get a story with the young love that he has with Aurora, with Storm. We could get a lot from this, and then leading up to him becoming a man. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm looking forward to. I'm hopeful that they'll do something with little T'Challa and the next Storm. Killmonger, with his return, it made sense where Shuri was at and why she saw it. Michael B. Jordan, that was real smooth. But I felt like if you're gonna kill her mother like the way you did, you should have at least put her in the damn vision, at least. Maybe both of them being there, like an angel and a devil on your shoulder, trying to tug at Shuri on how she wanted to handle Namor. Cool. God. That wasn't. How about Nixon says? How about that first mutant call out? The first mutant call out, I believe, was on Ms. Marvel. Do your research. And it's cool that that was the first mutant call out, I think, in the movies, right? Yeah, I think that's true. And one last thing before I go on move on from this topic, the whole thing about Riri. I liked her performance on it, but I feel like they did the character disjustice by the way they introduced her in this movie. Because I feel like her series should have came out first. Because to the average MCU fan who only knows the movies and does not read the comic books, a lot of people are not going to know that she is, from what I understand in the comic books, a huge Iron Man fan, and she's Iron Heart, and she designed her suit after Tony Stark. But none of that was in the movie. You just threw her in an Iron Man suit, no explanation to why. And I felt like the series could have did that. The series should have probably taken place before the events in Wakanda Forever, and the series probably should have came out before the movie came out to introduce why she designed that suit, all the things that she was going through before having to go in up there into Wakanda. Because black girls in Hollywood gonna have it bad enough. Now you're gonna have, like, she's trying to steal Iron Man, she's trying to be Iron Man, man. You're gonna have people who don't know nothing about that comic book character thinking that she's trying to be the next Iron Man. And people made fun of the suit too. That was the first one. Iron Man's first suit looked like a piece of crap. He was coming out that damn cave. But this one, y'all like, man, you had the Wakanda technology, and that shit looked like Mega Man. I was like, dang, this girl ain't gonna get a bride. And I feel like the introduction was botched, and you're not giving her a fair shake, because the main question is, how is this girl gonna just have an Iron Man suit? She Ironheart. Who cares? Like there was nothing really said about Iron Man about that. And it was obviously an Iron Man inspired kind of a suit. The damn thing even flew. But that's just how I felt about it. I felt like they kind of botched that. In Mayan history, Kukulkan, I said Kukulkan is wind and water, and Wakanda represents fire and earth. I like that. Okay, I didn't know that. Iron Fire was all set up for no reason. Who didn't do her research, sir? Yeah, you said it was the first time mutants was introduced. They mentioned mutants in Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel came out before this. I mean, but obviously you did all your research though. I didn't know about that water, the wind and water. There you go. If you like it, I love it. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. But I almost hated this movie until the possibilities with T'Challa Jr. Came into play, and I loved it after that. That anger kind of I kind of let go of it. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I kind of let go of that anger. Do I have the chat box open right here? Yeah, there you go. So I can see what you're saying right there in real time. But let me know what you guys thought about that movie. There's another movie that we saw over the weekend. I think, you know what? I think I'll save it. I was going to talk about another movie, but I think I'll save it. I really want to talk about this with Joy. So we'll talk about it, and we're running out of time. I'm already past the 30-minute mark on this, and I got to get to bed soon. So I'm not going to talk about it. But upcoming, maybe in this week, I know we have the holidays. Maybe Friday. Maybe we'll talk about it, or maybe when me and Joy find some time, we can sneak away. Maybe Tuesday. I'll try for Tuesday, and we're going to talk a little bit about Bullet Train, because we caught that, we rented that. Oh my God, we had so much fun with that. And The Menu, we saw The Menu this week, so we'll do a spoiler talk about The Menu. Oh man, two really good movies that we really enjoyed. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about that. Let's see. You asked me, I didn't. I did it. You had me crying in this movie. Sorry, I'm like I didn't do nothing. I didn't make them do that funeral. They did that. They the one that rehashed out Chadwick's. That wasn't a T'Challa funeral. That was a Chadwick funeral, man. That whole, I mean, like I said, his off-screen death and stuff. That was just a Chadwick. That was just 100% showing love to Chadwick. Like that silent Marvel Studios intro. That was all for Chadwick, and I understand that, but I feel like T'Challa deserved better. And throughout the movie, there was a lot of scenes that were happening with Shuri and other actors that I felt like, I'm not gonna say Chadwick because I know he's gone, but T'Challa should have been saying. I said this so many times during the movie. T'Challa should have been doing and saying these lines that Shuri is delivering. If T'Challa was recast and put back into this movie, he should be doing this. Not all of it. There was a lot of things that was definite, like the kidnapping and stuff. I feel like that would have been a good little plot in there with Shuri and Namor. But there was a lot of dialogue and a lot of things that were done. I was like, this should have been T'Challa. This should have been T'Challa. And Tabitha said that's not fair. It is 100% fair because recasting is a fact of life. I mean, an actor dies, a production should not stop. The key grip can pass away, that the movie doesn't stop. A director can pass away. A movie that's been greenlit that still wants to be pushed forward does not stop. This is a family and a team effort. We put so much emphasis on actors because they're the face, they're what we see. But Ryan Coogler's and Kevin Feige's story should not have been altered over the passing of Chadwick. And Chadwick's brother said it so many times that he would not have wanted that either. But hopefully, and I feel like they're going to do some reverse engineering. We're going to get back on the original track, but probably at a slower pace once the new T'Challa grows up a little bit, and and maybe we'll get some of that backstory that we probably could have gotten at it from a young T'Challa, and then later on or maybe we'll get a little time jump, and maybe Kang will run some time through T'Challa Jr. and grow him up fast, like the way the Avengers did in Endgame. Let's run some time through him and grow that kid up, because let's get this going, guys. But let me know what you guys think about that. Let me go through these real quick with Nixon, with the Navigator before I go. What did I miss? You asked me. You had me crying in this movie. I haven't seen The Menu. I'm a softie if you haven't caught on. Angela definitely deserved the Oscar for this, 100%. Sorry, Taz, but I disagree this time. Yeah, like to say this, it is fair to say that about because the story, and this is something that has been said. The actor is supposed to serve the story. The story is not supposed to serve the actor. And if they had a plan, if they had a path, that's the path that they should have stayed on. That's just, but I've said it before. But overall, I liked the movie. I didn't love it, and like I said, throughout 90% of it, I was hating it. So maybe I did not like this movie. But I loved the journey that it took me on. I loved everything around what was happening with the Black Panther. That's the weird thing. This was a movie called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I loved everything around the Black Panther that was happening more than I love what was happening with the Black Panther. Not saying that Shuri doesn't deserve to be the Black Panther. It was fine. But I felt like she was not ready, the actress. Because everybody was acting circles around her. Okay, I'm done. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think Avatar: The Way of Water will be #1 in film domestically? Heck yeah, no doubt. Now, let's get into what I said earlier about will it make more money than the originals? I always said more Avatar loyalists have passed on than are being born, and I stick by that. And with the pandemic and the loss of theaters, there's no way the numbers can reach that. But then again, the domestic numbers were not the numbers that made the first Avatar great. It was the numbers overseas. So I'm still predicting between 1 billion and 1.5. It's not going to make 2 billion. That's just me. That's just how I feel. Because I still go by the whole thing where after Avatar came out, people were dressed up as Na'vi for Halloween. The year after that, just Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker made more of an impact, a lasting impact than the Avatar movies did. Culturally, they impacted our wallets when we had to pay for that 3D or that when the movie was fresh. But a year later, people started caring less and less. And then when it took 10 years, 12 years for a sequel, that hurt it even more. That's just how I feel. I feel like too much time has gone by. Marvel did its thing, and now people have a cinematic universe mentality when it comes to these types of spectacle movies. But at the same time, never bet against James Cameron. He's been doubted before, Titanic and all that. So, yeah, maybe it might become the highest grossing movie of all time. I doubt it, but we will see. But thanks for asking, man. Before I was about to sign off, But I'm done. But I appreciate you guys